Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Aivaz Naini. I'm as a first speaker from group 11 and I want to explain about how to translate poetry. So, poetry is a form of literature that evokes an imagination, awareness of experience, or a specific emotional response through language chosen and arranged for its meaning, sound, and rhythm. Poetry also is the most personal and concentrated of the four forms. No redundancy, poetic language. As a unit, the word has greater importance than in any other type of the text. Okay, and the next is poetry presents the thing in order to convey of the feeling. In particular, a feeling, a behavior, and a view of life. And in poems, there is a case for creating a TL metaphor or converting the SL metaphor to sense. So, there are a question, what is the metaphor? So, the metaphor is the controlling elements in all creative language, evoking through a visual image. So, and the next is, if a translator regards the metaphor is important, it is his duty to carry it across to launch it on the target language and its culture. Everyone, I think enough from me. And the next is my friend Nur Shafrida.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Okay, my name is Nur Shafrida and here I will explain about tips on translation poetry. And the first is the translator first decided to choose a target language poetry such as verse, sonnet, ballad, poetry, blank verse, and etc. as close as possible to that of the source language. Secondly, he will reproduce the figurative meaning, the concrete image of the folk. And lastly is the setting the talks word, often the various techniques of sound effect which produce the individual effect have mentioned have to be worked in at later stage during rewriting. The fact is one, however good as a translation, its meaning will differ in many ways. From the original it will in sorrow phrase. Therefore, no general theory of phonetic translation is possible and all translation theories can do is to draw attention to the variety of possibilities and point to successful practice. Unless he really wants to incorporate his theory of translation into his own theory of poetry, deliberately or intuitively, the translator has to decide whether the expressive or the aesthetic function of language in a poem or in one place in a poem is more important. And the next is the function of expressive or the aesthetic. Some function, some approximation between the expressive and the aesthetic function of language is required wherein and even the personal language of the food which deviates from the norms of the source language is likely to deviate even more from those of the target language. Okay, that's all my explanation, and the next explanation will be explained by my friends.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. First of all, I would like to introduce myself to you. My name is Nur Hayati. So I'm gonna be the third speaker here. So in this video, I'm gonna explain about 3 considerations of translation. Without any further ado, let's get started. So, John Weidman has stated that French poetry is untranslatable into English. Why? Because, firstly, because a lot of French poetry. And then secondly, because although there are obvious minuses, and the third, because the syntactical difference, the huge English vocabulary compared with the small French vocabulary, so that many French words appear to be generic words covering many English specific words that themselves lack of generic word. For example, humid, damp, dank, and then wet, clammy, undried, noir, black, dark, dim, dull, dusky, deep, gloomy, and murky. And now, English has infinite creative research. English has the syllables as well as the monosyllables. English is the 18th century got close to all the so-called friends, properties, and given empty, given sympathy. There's no reason why. One day, even Racine shouldn't find his inadequate but challenging English translator. John Cancross sets out three considerations for the translation of Racine. So the first one, the translator must adopt 10 syllables blank verse. And then the second, Racine must be translated accurately. And the third is Racine verse is particularly difficult owing to his capacity of evoking music from most unpromising material. Now, next is Hippolyte's Confession of Love. I wouldn't call it at that. It is too restless and feverish, too heresy, is often considered to be precious. For example, affected, conventional, too polished, sophisticated, class-bound, with too many stock metaphors. But for me, they have always been Racine most of beautiful lines, crystallizing the narrative exposed mental and nervous obsession, which is the essence of the Racine's character. Taking the critical lines, it appears to me that in any modern versions, the language must be kept modern and formal. The polar oppositions retain the stress and repetition percept. The image of the hunted animal kept there, and some attempt made to keep the simple language, the soft sounds with occasional alliteration. Now, that's all three considerations of translation. Now, we will watch my video. I have spoken word, my video like a poetry, spoken words. So without any further, let's get watch it. It Couldn't Be Done by Edgar Albert Guest. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed. Oh, you'll never do that. At least, no one ever has done it. But he took off his coat and he took off his hat. And the first thing, we knew he'd begun it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quitting, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophecy healer. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go to it. Just start into sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it. We haven't finished yet because I have still one example. I have made my own poetry. I tried to arrange my words, to elaborate the words. So I have made a spoken words. So without any further ado, let's get watch it together.
I'm Gonna Disappear by Nur Hayati.
It's been a while that we look at the sky. It's definitely good and bad at the same time. Even I made some unintentionally things those might be not true. Jealousy and heartbreaks always come. Please, sit beside me. I'm gonna talk about life for several hours using heart and brain. Don't ask me anything, just be silent. Even then, I have done to tell you a story. Figure them out because I won't repeat anything. It's not about aspiration or something we can arrange. It just happens. Love comes when you don't need it and goes when you need it the most. There's nothing in our lives ever comes from failing. I'm gonna make you fall even harder. Now I should stop you to make you fall. It's written all over your face. Why should you be so nice towards me? Soon I will be gone. I'm gonna disappear. I should hate you. I miss the old days when we greet each other without feeling awkward. You always greet me. I miss it so bad. When the city feelings come, everything is more egoistic. I had that feeling. The feeling comes followed by some selfishness. The feeling makes us more egoistic. The few thing is, we are just friends. All I can do is we are just a good friends.
Okay, that's all about our explanation about how to translate a poetry. I do hope that everyone get understand about all of our explanation. And we do apologize if we have some several mistake or grammatical errors in our spoken. So, bye bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.